are. And neither myself or the pastor will demand visitors that this is what you got to do. You won't hear the pastor say that to a visitor. You won't hear me say that to a visitor. Now, if we don't say it, neither one of the members should be saying it as well. Amen?
Amen.
If you can't say amen, say mercy. Amen?
Amen. Amen.
And you always hear how that people say eventually after a period of time they would see how some would not be wearing this or not be wearing that or would be wearing this. And lo and behold, after a period of time, they become accustomed to that and they say, you know what, I need to change how I'm doing it.
That's
I need to change how I'm doing it.
Amen.
It said, for many are called, but what?
But few are chosen.
Just because you came as you are doesn't mean that you have to stay how you came.
Yeah.
I'll repeat that. Just because you came as you are, and we welcome you to come as you are, but just because you came as you are does not mean that you have to stay how you came.
Amen.
What did it say? For many are called, but what?
But few are chosen.
Many are called, but few are chosen.
Amen.
Many are called, but few are chosen. Read that 13th verse again. What does it say?
Then said the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
And what did it say?
For many are called, but few are chosen.
You know, church, being a member or attending services does not give you a free ticket into heaven.
That's right.
You got to do more than just show up at church. It said, for many are called, but few are chosen.
Amen.
There's a lot of people who come out to church, but just because you may have been invited or just because you may show up at church, that's not a free ticket to heaven. You got to do more than just show up at church.
Yes. Amen.
Turn to Proverbs, the 1st chapter.
Amen.
You find that many are called to church, but few are chosen from the church. Now let's go to Proverbs, the 5th chapter. Let me show you something real quick.
Amen.
Proverbs, the 5th chapter. Proverbs 5, and look at the 14th verse. And what does it say?
I was also in all evil.
I was almost.
Almost.
I was almost in what?
All evil.
In all evil, where was I?
In the midst of the congregation and
In the midst of
assembly.
where?
In the midst of the congregation and assembly.
Right up in church.
Yes.
Right up in church. My wife and I were talking about that last night. Right up in church. You have to do more than just show up at church in order to make it into heaven.
Yes.
You can still be in sin sitting inside a church. Don't think that just because you're sitting inside a church, hey, I'm going to heaven. I attend church every single Sunday, sometimes on Friday, very rarely on Wednesday. But I'm going to heaven. It said, I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation, sitting right there in church. On the way to hell.
Yes.
Turn to Proverbs, the 1st chapter. Many are called, but few are chosen.
Yes.
Many are called. Christ will call many people. God called many people, but few were chosen.
Amen.
Proverbs, 1st chapter. Begin right there at the 24th verse. What does it say?
Because I have called and ye refused.
Because I have called and ye did what?
And ye refused.
Ye refused what?
I have stretched out my hand.
I have stretched out my hand and what?
And no man regarded.
I stretched out my hand and nobody even grabbed onto my hand.
Amen.
I always depend on the kids. DJ said I did. Thank God for the youth.
Yeah.
You know, when somebody else don't want to stand up and testify, the kids gonna always testify.
Oh, yes.
Somebody don't want to sing their song, the kids gonna always sing their song.
Sing their song, yes.
Thank God for the kids.
Yes.
Truly, they are the future church.
That's right, future church.
Always try and support them whenever you can. Always try and support them.
Yeah.
You know, we're blessed that Sis Francine, she makes it a habit. She'll sacrifice her lunch break to go and see Mariah and show support to Mariah. Every Wednesday, Mariah's got gymnastics class at the college, and Sister Francine comes over there, and it touched my heart the other day because she knew that she was not going to be able to make it. And you know what Sister Francine did? She called me up and said, is Mariah around? I said, no, she's not. She said, well, can you let her know I won't be able to be there today? That was very encouraging. That, you know, because Mariah looks for her. Mariah will look around and look for her. And she called up and said, can you let Mariah know that I won't be there today? Because she knows that if Mariah don't see her, Mariah's going to ask her, where were you at, Aunt Francine? Always try and support your youth, church. Proverbs 1:24 says what?
Because I have called
Because
and you
I have
refused.
called and you refused, I've stretched out my hand and no man regarded. And what did it say?
But ye have set at naught
You said it naught.
all my counsel,
Not just some of my counsel, but all my counsel. And what?
and would none of my
You
reproof.
wouldn't even accept none of the corrections that I gave you. You know, church, nowadays, people just don't like to be corrected. Let's just put it right out there. People just do not like to be corrected. They don't like to be told that's not how you're supposed to do it.
True.
Like Sister Laney said, she told the kid, you got to learn. You come to school to learn. You need your education. I don't need my education. Well, how in the world you going to get a job? My wife going to take care of me. How old is he? 8 years old? 8 years old. My wife going to take care of me. I don't need no education.
Sad.
8 years old.
Pure sad.
That's sad. It said in the 26th verse what?
I also will laugh at your calamity.
I will laugh at what?
Your calamity.
Your calamity. What?
I will mock you
Uh-huh.
when your fear cometh.
Calamity, church, is being defined by Webster Dictionary, is an event causing great harm,
Oh, yes.
loss, and affliction. An event causing great harm, loss, and affliction. So it said, I also will laugh at your calamity. When you fall into those hard times,
Yes.
you didn't answer me, why do you expect me to answer you?
Yes.
27 says what?
When your fear cometh as desolation,
When your fear cometh as desolation, what?
and your destruction cometh as a
And
whirlwind,
your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when what?
when distress and anguish cometh upon you,
then shall they do what?
call upon
They're
me.
going to call upon me. They're going to call. But what?
But I will not answer.
I'm not going to answer. They shall do what?
They shall seek me early.
They're going to seek me real early.
Amen.
Are they going to find me?
But they shall not find me.
You ain't going to be able to find me. And what did it say?
For that they hated knowledge,
They hated knowledge and did what?
and did not choose the fear of God,
They didn't
the Lord.
choose the fear of the Lord. They would what?
There would none of my counsel.
They would none of my counsels.
Yes,
And
sir.
what?
They despise all my reproof.
You ever notice how people will ignore your phone calls? And when they fall into a time of need,
Listen.
they know your number by heart. They don't need to look at that list of contacts. They know your number by heart, whether it's long distance, whether it's local. And they even know your second contact number. You know how some people got 2 cell phones nowadays. They say, hey, if you don't answer that cell phone, I can always find them on that one over there. But yet when God is calling them, when Jesus is calling them, when God is trying to give them reproof, when God is trying to correct them, said they would none of my counsel. They ignored me. When I stretched out my hand, nobody would even regard it.
Yes.
It said they would none of my counsel. They despised all of my reproof. Turn to Daniel, the 11th chapter.
Amen.
The called, the anointed, and the chosen.
Amen.
The called, the anointed, and the chosen. How many of y'all want to be used by God? Let me get a show of hands. Y'all want to be used by God? Amen. Daniel, the 11th chapter, look at the 33rd